Last week it was reported that over 110 million Americans are now dependent on welfare, handouts from the government, and that's not even including people on Social Security. Now, you might say, well, the government is concerned about the poor. They want to help people out in need. Well, there are plenty of people in need in America right now, and it's thanks to them. There are people who have been thrown out of their homes, can't afford to make payments, have no jobs. Obamaville. It's happening. Over 750 million rounds of ammo have been purchased by DHS. And that's on top of other massive purchases. They're stockpiling ammo. A late October or early November meltdown, crackdown by DHS is anticipated. Now, what would that involve? What's going to happen in early November? Well, of course, you have the election. And you have Obama, a man who's desperate to stay in power. And the globalists like Obama. He does pretty much everything they want him to do. And he is intent on staying in power. So, let's say it looks like Obama is going to lose the election to Romney. And let's say that he would actually suspend the election using a false pretense, such as a staged false flag attack, an assassination attempt against him, the threat of race riots. Of course, there is the possibility that if Obama does lose the election, you'll have the minorities, the blacks, the Spanish, would riot in anger over the ouster of their beloved leader. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't even think they really like Obama that much. But there is a certain sense that minorities, especially blacks, would be upset if Obama loses the election. And they might be concerned that they'll have to roll out the tanks to suppress the violence as a result of that. That's one possibility. I think a more likely possibility is that they will rig the election to keep Obama in power, and that there would be an angry backlash among the Tea Party type people. And they would love that. They would not hesitate to crack down on them. You think they'd crack down on the minorities with violence? That's not likely. But they would crack down on the Tea Party. They've been waiting for an opportunity to do that. And, of course, the Tea Party isn't like the minorities. They're not just going to engage in senseless violence. They're armed to the teeth. And they've been expecting something like this for a long time. When a meltdown does happen, whether it's political, whether it's economic, one thing is likely to happen for sure, and that's all of these people on welfare are not going to get their payments anymore. Their checks aren't going to be coming in the mail. They're not going to be able to get housing assistance. They're not going to be able to get food stamps. And where are they going to go? Well, Army bases are being set up to house millions of people across the country. Massive camps are being set up in remote areas. And what would they do to the people who are not able to take care of themselves? They'd be taken off to the camps, where they will be basically imprisoned. They'll be given their vaccines. They'll be given their embedded microchips. They'll be given a couple of lousy meals a day, and they'll be housed in these massive barracks. And that would pretty much be the completion of the changeover from America to Nazi Germany. And then there's a possibility of using these camps for the rebels, the Tea Party type people. The U.S. government clearly sees the writing on the wall. What lays ahead for America is a day of reckoning. There's going to be a financial collapse. It could wipe out savings accounts. Imagine all bank accounts being reset to zero, with bank holidays enforced at gunpoint. Of course, that would unleash a wave of violent protests, social chaos, and even talk of revolution. The government will almost certainly respond with a declaration of martial law, the rolling out of highway checkpoints, and before long, the use of live ammo on unruly protesters. That's what's happening behind the scenes in America right now. There's a massive armament buildup of massive proportions. You have whistleblowers from DHS saying they're preparing for this. They're getting ready for something big. Now, my advice to people is don't participate if there is a mass protest. Don't be a victim of this. One of the best ways to avoid becoming a victim of this is to prepare. Stockpile food, stockpile weapons, stockpile money. Get your money out of the bank. Your money doesn't belong in the banks, because once that money is no longer there, it's not going to be coming back to you. You have the increasing likelihood of a full-blown financial collapse. And with the election, you have the possibility of riots as a result, one way or the other, of the election not coming out the way various groups in this country want it to. And the end of entitlements are all kind of coming together now in this massive storm. We need to be ready for what's coming.